Hello, my friend. I'm Paul. Welcome to Night of Tales, a quiet refuge for imagination and dreams. Set aside your worries, as tonight we journey together through worlds of magic, mystery, and wonder. Lie back, relax, and let the tales carry you away. Tonight we venture into the monster-haunted world of The Witcher. Rain fell on Zavada when Geralt rode through the village gate. The drops were cold and heavy. They drummed against his leather coat. The horse beneath him snorted. Its breath made white clouds in the autumn air. Wooden houses lined the muddy street. Their windows were dark despite the early hour. People watched from doorways. Their faces were pale. Their eyes followed him with something worse than fear. It was accusation. The alderman waited in the square. He was a thin man with a merchant's clothes and a warrior's scars. His name was Pyotr. He did not offer his hand. "You are the Witcher Geralt of Rivia." The words were flat, not a question. "I am." Geralt dismounted. Mud sucked at his boots. "Your message mentioned a werewolf." That was before. Pyotr's jaw worked. Before we knew what truly hunted us. The alderman led him to a building that served as both tavern and town hall. Inside, 3 bodies lay on tables. White sheets covered them. The smell of death was thick. Geralt pulled back the first sheet. The victim was a young woman. Her throat had been opened by a precise cut. Too precise for claws. The wound's edges were clean. A blade had made this. Silver, judging by the faint discoloration around the flesh. He checked the others. A farmer with his chest carved open. An elderly man missing half his face. All bore the same surgical violence. All showed signs of silver weapons. "Werewolves don't use swords," Geralt stated. Pyotr nodded. His hands shook. The blacksmith saw it happen. Saw him kill Marta in the forest. Him? A witcher. Pyotr's voice dropped. "White hair like yours. 2 swords on his back. He used fire from his hands." The blacksmith watched from behind a tree. "He said the Witcher moved like you move. Fast. Too fast." Geralt felt something cold settle in his stomach. It was not surprise. He had seen too much to be surprised. But this was wrong in a way that made his medallion feel heavy. Where did the attacks begin? 2 weeks ago. Always at night. Always near the forest edge. Pyotr gestured to a map on the wall. Red marks showed where bodies had been found. They formed a rough circle around the village's northern side. "We sent for you because you are known. We thought perhaps you could speak with this other Witcher. Make him stop. Witchers don't murder humans." The words came automatically, but even as Geralt spoke them, He knew they were not entirely true. There were stories, rare ones, of witchers who had gone mad from the mutations or the potions or simply from too many years of killing. This one does, Peter said. Geralt studied the map. The pattern was deliberate. The killer was working inward, tightening a noose around something. I need to see where the blacksmith witnessed the attack. The rain had not stopped. It turned the forest path to streaming mud. The blacksmith, a broad man named Yevon, led Geralt to a clearing. Broken branches marked where Marta had run. Dark stains colored the moss where she had fallen. Geralt knelt. His fingers traced the ground. Boot prints in the soft earth. Size and depth suggested a man of his own build. The stride pattern showed witcher training. Long steps. Weight distributed for quick direction changes. But something was off. The prints wavered slightly. A witcher's movements were economical. These showed hesitation, uncertainty. He found where the killer had stood. More boot prints. And something else. A faint outline in the mud. Four-toed. Clawed. Overlapping the boot print as if the same being had left both. Did you see his face? Geralt asked. Yevon shook his head. Too dark. But I saw the fire. It was orange. Bright. Like Igni. Like Igni. But not Igni. A witcher would not hesitate when using signs. The flame would be controlled. Focused. Show me where you hid. The blacksmith pointed to an oak tree 20 paces distant. Geralt walked to it. From this angle, the clearing was visible, but details would blur in darkness. Easy to see a shape. Harder to see truth. He returned to the kill site. Knelt again. Put his hands where the killers had been. And felt it. The faintest trace of chaos. Not a witcher's chaos. Something else. Something that shifted and changed. His medallion trembled. Geralt closed his eyes. Let his other senses open. The forest smelled of rot and rain. But underneath, almost hidden, was another scent. Familiar. He had encountered it only twice before in 70 years. Both times in cities. Both times the creature had been peaceful. Not a witcher, he said quietly. Yevon leaned closer. What? A Doppler. Geralt stood. Mud clung to his knees. A shapeshifter. It can take the form of anyone it touches. Usually they are harmless. They copy merchants or travelers. Live quiet lives. This one is not harmless. No. Geralt looked at the dark stains in the moss. This one is not. The village priest offered Geralt a room above the church. It was small and cold. A narrow bed stood against one wall. A table and chair occupied the remaining space. Rain hammered the roof. Geralt sat on the bed. He laid his swords across his knees. The silver blade needed sharpening. He took out his whetstone. The familiar rasp of metal on stone helped him think. Dopplers were rare. They avoided conflict. Their nature was to observe and imitate, not to kill. They fed on emotion and memory. When they copied someone, they absorbed thoughts and feelings, became that person so completely that even they believed the illusion. But this Doppler was killing with silver weapons and signs. That suggested it had copied a witcher. More than copied. Something had gone wrong. The door opened. Pyotr entered without knocking. He carried a bottle and 2 cups. "You drink?" the alderman asked. "Sometimes." Pyotr poured. The liquid was clear. It smelled of juniper and regret. Probably local vodka. They drank in silence. The alcohol burned but brought no warmth. "My daughter asks when she can play outside again," Pyotr said. His voice was careful, empty of emotion. "I told her soon. I told her the Witcher would fix this. I will try. Trying is not enough." Pyotr refilled both cups. "That thing wears your face. Uses your tricks. People see it and think witchers are monsters. Just like the stories say." Geralt had heard those stories. He would hear them again. One Doppler would not change humanity's opinion of his kind. That opinion had been formed over centuries, set in stone in fear. Has anyone else gone missing? Before the murder started? Missing? Pyotr frowned. Old Casper vanished in spring. We thought he wandered off. He was not right in the head near the end. Where did he live? A hut east of here, near the old ruins. The ruins. Geralt filed that away. What did Casper do? He was a woodcutter, kept to himself. Some said he was running from something. He had scars. Lots of them. Scars. Geralt set down his cup. What kind of scars? I saw them once when he bathed in the river. His back was covered, like he had been whipped or clawed, and his eyes. Pyotr paused. They were strange. The pupils were not quite round. Cat eyes. Witcher mutations. Cat school based on the vertical pupils. Did he carry weapons? 2 swords. He said he was a traveling sellsword. But sellswords do not usually live alone in the forest. Geralt stood. The pieces were forming a pattern. A cat school witcher, living in isolation, then vanishing, and weeks later, a Doppler begins killing. I need to see his hut. Now, the rain had become a downpour. Water ran in rivers down the forest paths. Geralt's horse picked its way carefully. Peter rode beside him on a smaller mare. Neither spoke. The hut appeared through the trees like a rotting tooth. The roof had collapsed inward. The door hung open. Inside, everything was ruined. Furniture broken. Personal items scattered. Geralt dismounted and entered. His boots crunched on debris. The smell hit him immediately. Death. Old death. Beneath the floorboards. He pulled up the wooden planks. Peter helped. Together they revealed a shallow grave. The body inside was months old. Decay had progressed far, but the leather armor remained intact. Black with silver studs. Cat school design. And the medallion around the neck bones. A cat's head in profile. Geralt reached down, touched the skull, felt the mutations in the bone structure. Enhanced eye ridges, reinforced jaw. This had been a witcher. Who killed him? Peter whispered. Probably himself. Geralt pointed to the positioning. The witcher had been laid out carefully. Arms crossed. Swords placed along his sides. Suicide. Or he died and something arranged the body. The Doppler. Yes. Geralt examined the grave more closely. Claw marks scored the earth around the corpse. Deep gouges where something had dug frantically. And droplets of dried blood that were not from the dead witcher. The Doppler had fed here. Had touched the corpse. Absorbed the memories. But Dopplers usually only needed brief contact. These marks showed prolonged exposure. Desperate feeding. What does this mean? Peter asked. Geralt stood, brushed grave dirt from his hands. It means the Doppler did not just copy a witcher. It consumed one. All the memories. All the training. Decades of killing monsters. Then why murder humans? Because something went wrong. The memories were too much. Or they were damaged. Fragmented. The Doppler cannot tell the difference anymore between what it is and what it remembers being. Geralt looked at the corpse again. The cat school had a reputation. Their witchers were often unstable, prone to violence. The mutations affected their minds differently than other schools, made them faster and more vicious, but also more likely to break. This one had probably broken long before dying, and now a Doppler carried that broken mind. Geralt returned to the village alone. He told Peter to gather everyone into the church. Lock the doors. Stay there until dawn. The alderman did not argue. Fear had settled into his bones. It showed in his walk, in his silence. The ruins lay north of Zavada. Old stones from some forgotten war. Walls that had once protected something now protected only darkness. Geralt approached on foot. He had left his horse at the forest edge. The animal would only panic. The rain had finally stopped. Clouds broke apart overhead. Moonlight painted the ruins silver. Geralt drew his silver sword. The blade whispered against the scabbard. His medallion vibrated against his chest. Magic nearby. Sign magic. Crude but powerful. He entered through a collapsed archway. Moss covered the stones. Water dripped from broken rafters. The main chamber opened before him. Empty, but not abandoned. Fresh scratches marked the floor. Something had been pacing here, wearing a path in the ancient stone. I can smell you. The voice came from above. Geralt looked up. A figure crouched on a broken wall. White hair. 2 swords. Witcher armor that matched his own. The Doppler. It dropped down, landed in a perfect crouch, rose slowly. The face it wore was his face. Every scar, every line, perfect mimicry. But the eyes were wrong. They held confusion, pain. You are not real, the Doppler said. Its voice was Geralt's voice. I am the Witcher. I hunt monsters. I protect people. You have been killing people. No. The Doppler shook its head violently. Monsters. I kill monsters. The beast told me. The memories tell me. They show me what to hunt. What memories? Geralt kept his sword low, non-threatening. The Doppler's hand went to its blade, hesitated. The cat. He showed me. When I touched him, he was dying, alone, full of so much pain. I wanted to help. I touched him and he flooded into me. The Doppler's face twisted. For a moment, the features shifted, became older, sharper, cat school mutations bleeding through, then snapped back. He remembered so much killing, monsters everywhere, drowners in the water, neckers in the earth, wraiths in the air, and humans. Humans were the worst monsters. They betrayed him, hurt him, drove him to the forest to die alone. Geralt understood now. Cat school witchers often saw humans as the enemy. Years of prejudice and violence had taught them this. The dead witcher's memories carried that poisoned perspective. And the Doppler, feeding on those memories, had absorbed the madness. The people you killed were not monsters, Geralt said carefully. They looked human. The Doppler laughed. It was a broken sound. Monsters always look human at first. The cat taught me. You learn to see past the skin, to smell the corruption underneath. I am a witcher, like the cat was. I know monsters. Those people were innocent. Lies. The Doppler drew its silver blade. The movement was perfect. Cat school style. Fast and flowing. You are a test. The beast sends tests. Monsters that were friendly faces. Geralt raised his sword. I do not want to kill you. Everyone wants to kill witchers. The cat knew that. He showed me all the mobs, all the hatred. So he struck first. Always first. That is survival. The Doppler attacked. It moved with inhuman speed. The silver blade came in low, aimed for Geralt's thigh. He parried. Steel rang against steel. The force of the blow sent vibrations up his arm. Strong. Too strong for a normal Doppler. The absorbed mutations were manifesting. They circled each other. The Doppler's face kept shifting. Sometimes Geralt. Sometimes the dead cat witcher. Sometimes something between. Its original form struggling beneath the copied identities. What is your name? Geralt asked. I am the witcher. I am the cat. I am the hunter. Your real name. What were you before? The Doppler froze. Its expression went blank. I do not remember. The memories are too loud. They scream all the time. Show me things I never did. Places I never went. I remember a city. No. A forest. No. Both. Neither. I am losing myself. Geralt saw his opening. Not in the Doppler's guard, but in its mind. You can let go of the memories. Return to what you were. I was nothing. Empty. Just shapes and shadows. The cat gave me purpose. Gave me meaning. I am a witcher now. I hunt monsters. You are killing innocent people. There are no innocent people. The Doppler's voice hardened, became colder. The cat witcher speaking through it. Only monsters pretending to be human. I learned that truth in blood. It attacked again. The fight moved through the ruins. Geralt parried and dodged. The Doppler fought with cat school techniques. Whirling strikes. Acrobatic leaps. It used the environment. Kicked off walls. Swung from broken beams. But the style was imperfect. Memories alone could not replace years of training. The Doppler knew the moves but not the rhythm. Geralt waited for mistakes. They came. A strike that extended too far. A landing that left the Doppler off balance. He did not press these openings. Not yet. He needed to break through the madness first. The cat died because he gave up, Geralt said between exchanges. He chose isolation. chose death. Is that what you want? The cat died because humans are monsters. The Doppler's blade came down in an overhead chop. Geralt sidestepped. Let the silver sword bite stone. Sparks flew. He died because he forgot what he was fighting for. Witchers protect people, even when people hate us. That is the purpose. Lies. But the Doppler hesitated. Its certainty was cracking. Geralt pressed. You felt something when you touched him. Not just memories. Emotions. What did the cat feel at the end? The Doppler lowered its sword slightly. Its face went through rapid changes. Geralt. The cat. Something older. Softer. Regret, it whispered. He regretted everything. The killing. The anger. He wanted to go back. Be different. But it was too late. The mutations had changed him too much. The memories of violence had worn grooves into his mind. He could only follow those grooves until they led to death. You are not him. You can choose differently. I have already killed. The blood is on these hands. My hands. His hands. I cannot tell anymore. The Doppler looked at its palms. The shape flickered. Claws appeared briefly. Then fingers. Then claws again. The memories are eating me. I feel myself disappearing. Soon there will be nothing left but the cat. And he will keep killing. Keep hunting. Forever. Geralt made his decision. He whispered the words for Axii. The sign built in his left hand. Purple light flickered between his fingers. The Doppler saw. Tried to dodge. But Geralt was faster. The sign hit. The Doppler staggered. Its eyes went wide. The mental assault broke through the layered identities, scattered the memories. For just a moment, the original consciousness surfaced. Please, the Doppler said. Its voice was different now. Younger. Frightened. I cannot stop it. The cat is too strong. His memories are like claws. They dig deeper every day. Soon I will be gone completely. Just an echo wearing his face. Killing forever because that is all he knew. I can end it, Geralt said quietly. Tears ran down the Doppler's face. They left trails through the dirt and blood. I did not mean to hurt anyone. I was curious. He was dying. I thought I could help. Ease his passing. But when I touched him, he pulled me in. Showed me everything. Forced his life into mine. I tried to pull away, but he held on. Used his last strength to make sure someone would carry his memories forward. The Doppler's features stabilized. Became something neither Geralt nor the cat. Just a pale face with amber eyes. its true form emerging. He was so alone, so angry. He wanted someone to understand, to know what he had suffered. But the memories were poison. They infected me, made me see monsters everywhere. I could not stop hunting, could not stop killing. The axia was fading. Geralt could see the cat's influence returning, the Doppler's pupils elongating, its posture shifting to the cat's stance. "Do it quickly," the Doppler said, "before he comes back, before I forget who I really was. Please." Geralt raised his sword. The Doppler closed its eyes, did not fight, did not run, just waited. "Thank you," it whispered. The silver blade fell. It was clean, fast. The Doppler collapsed without a sound. Its form shimmered in death, settled into something that was neither human nor Witcher. Just a pale corpse with features too perfect to be real. Geralt cleaned his blade, sheathed it. Then he gathered wood from the ruins, built a pyre. He returned to the hut, carried the cat Witcher's corpse back, placed it beside the Doppler. They would burn together. The fire that consumed them both rose high, orange flames against the black sky. Geralt watched until there was nothing left but ash. Two victims of the same curse. The Witcher mutations that gave power but took humanity, and the Doppler's gift of empathy that had become a fatal weakness. Dawn found Geralt on the road south. Zavada disappeared behind him. The village would recover. People always did. They would tell stories about the mad Witcher who killed their neighbors, then about the other Witcher who stopped him. The stories would blur together, become legend, become lies. Geralt did not care. He had his payment. 50 crowns and a horse that was slightly better than his old one. The alderman had been generous. Gratitude mixed with fear often was. The forest road was quiet. Birds sang in the canopy. Squirrels chattered. Normal sounds. Peaceful sounds. But Geralt could not find peace. The Doppler's final words stayed with him. The cat's memories had been poison, but were they really so different from his own? Every Witcher carried decades of violence, of killing. The mutations ensured they could never truly be human again, never feel quite right in civilization. Some handled it better than others. The cat school had higher rates of madness, but every school lost Witchers to despair, to isolation, to the slow realization that they were more monster than man. Geralt had seen it in older Witchers, the way they stopped caring about contracts, started taking jobs just to feel something, to remember why they had survived the mutations in the first place. He had felt it in himself, the creeping numbness, the distance between himself and everyone around him. the knowledge that he would outlive anyone he might care about, that loving was a liability, that connection meant pain. The cat had chosen isolation, had let the anger consume him, had died alone in a forest, unmourned, forgotten. The Doppler had chosen connection, had reached out to a dying creature, had tried to ease suffering, and been destroyed by the attempt. Two paths, both ending in fire and ash. Geralt's medallion rested heavy against his chest. The wolf head, his school's symbol. Wolves ran in packs. Witchers did not. That was the contradiction at the heart of their existence. Made to protect humanity, removed from humanity, made to hunt monsters, made into monsters. The road bent east. A village appeared in the distance. Smoke from cooking fires rose into the morning air. Geralt could ride past, avoid the stares and whispers, avoid the inevitable contract that would need fulfilling. But he turned toward the village instead, because that was what witchers did. They walked toward the fear and hatred, toward the monsters both real and imagined. They did the work no one else could do, and they kept walking, kept fighting, until something finally stopped them. The cat had stopped himself. The Doppler had needed help stopping. Geralt would keep walking until the road ended, until the contracts ran out, until something faster or stronger or luckier caught him. That was enough. It had to be enough. The village gate opened before him. A guard stepped out. Young, nervous, his hand on his sword hilt, ready to draw, ready to run. Geralt kept his hands visible, kept his voice calm. This was the dance, the eternal negotiation between witcher and human, between protector and protected, between monster and man. The guard relaxed slightly, asked his business. Geralt answered. There was a contract. There was always a contract. Something in the woods, something in the water, something that killed in the dark. He would hunt it, kill it, collect payment, then ride to the next village, the next contract, the next lonely road between isolated places. The cat's ashes were scattered in a Temerian forest. The Doppler's ashes mixed with them, indistinguishable, united in death as they had been in madness. Geralt carried their memory as he carried all his memories. Another weight, another reminder, another reason to keep the silver blade sharp. He entered the village. The guard closed the gate behind him. The work continued. It always did.